Psychology of wealth. Why most people stay broke emotionally before financially. You can have a good job, a steady paycheck, and still feel broke. That feeling, the anxiety in your chest when the bills stack up, isn't just about numbers. It lives in your head. Most people become emotionally broke long before their bank account runs dry. And until you fix the inner story, the outer numbers will rarely change. Today, we're going deeper than budgets and stock picks. We're going into the hidden wiring that determines who builds wealth and who keeps waiting for a miracle. We assume money problems are financial, that more income fixes everything. But wealth is first a psychological condition. Think of two people with the same salary. One lives month to month, stressed, stuck. The other builds savings, invests, and sleeps at night. What's different? Not the paycheck. The thinking. Emotional poverty is a pattern of beliefs and habits: scarcity, shame, fear, comparison, and avoidance. Those mental patterns quietly destroy financial progress. Change your psychology, and money follows. Roots: where these patterns come from. How does someone become emotionally broke? There are three deep sources: family scripts, cultural narratives, and biochemistry. 1. Family scripts, money stories we inherit. We learn money before we understand numbers. Kids overhear fights about rent, watch parents hide bills, or see money equated with shame. Those scenes build a script. Money is stress. Talking about money is rude. Rich people are greedy. These scripts become the default operating system. Story. Many wealthy people will tell you a similar thing. Their first emotional turning point was rewriting their parents' script. Oprah has spoken about breaking cycles of poverty. She didn't just earn more, she transformed an identity. 2. Cultural narratives, what society teaches us. Society praises consumption. Look successful, buy the thing. Advertising trains us to signal status with stuff. Social media creates constant comparison. We don't compare bank balances. We compare lifestyles, curated images, staged moments. That fuels a spending treadmill. Example: the middle-class upgrade, a nicer phone, more expensive coffee, a subscription here and there, slowly devours future wealth. 3. Biochemistry and evolution, why we prefer now over later. Our brains were built to survive immediate threats, not accumulate long-term compound gains. Neurology favors immediacy. Present bias, reward dopamine spikes from small purchases, and loss aversion. The pain of giving up $100 feels bigger than the joy of gaining $120 later. That chemistry makes saving and investing emotionally difficult. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky explained much of this. Humans are predictably irrational. Knowing that helps us design systems that bypass the biology. To understand the psychology of wealth, you don't need theories. You need real humans, people who were stuck, scared, conditioned by their past, until something broke inside them, and they chose a different path. Here are 3 true stories that show exactly how emotional poverty keeps people broke, and how changing the inner script changes everything. Story number 1. Chris Gardner, the man who believed he didn't deserve anything more. You may know him from The Pursuit of Happiness, but the real Chris Gardner's story is far more raw. Chris grew up in a violent home, a father who never showed up, a mother in and out of prison, poverty that felt like a curse passed from one generation to the next. Because of this, Chris developed a deep emotional wound. People like me don't get to be successful. This is the same belief millions carry, the belief that keeps them small long before money keeps them broke. Even when Chris worked, he could never keep savings. Whenever he started to get ahead, life collapsed again. But the collapse wasn't the real problem. It was his emotional programming telling him, "You're not meant for more." The turning point came when he became a single father, sleeping in bathrooms and shelters with his son. One night, with his child sleeping on his lap, Chris looked around the empty subway bathroom and said, "This cannot be my son's story." That moment, not a class, not a book, shifted his psychology. He fought for an unpaid internship. He said yes to humiliation, yes to long days, yes to uncertainty. In the end, he became one of the most successful stockbrokers on Wall Street. Not because the world changed, but because his inner identity did. He stopped being the boy who didn't deserve more and became the man who could build more. Story number 2, Sara Blakely, the woman who was afraid to be seen. Before Sara Blakely became the youngest self-made female billionaire, she was a door-to-door fax machine salesperson earning $12,000 a year. But Sara didn't struggle with money first. She struggled with fear. Fear of judgment, fear of embarrassment, fear of failing publicly. Growing up, she watched her friends laugh at people who tried and failed. She developed a belief many people secretly have. If I take big risks, people will laugh at me. That is emotional poverty. It keeps you invisible. It keeps you safe, but broke. One day, after yet another sales rejection, she realized something. The world wasn't rejecting her. She had been rejecting herself for years. So she tried something crazy. She cut the feet off her pantyhose to make her outfit fit better. Friends laughed. People raised eyebrows. But instead of hiding, she did the opposite. She leaned into the embarrassment. She cold-called factories. She pitched strangers. She got rejected over and over again, but didn't run from it. Her emotional identity changed from, "I don't want to be seen," to, "I'm willing to be seen trying." Spanx became a billion-dollar brand. Sara often says, "My father celebrated failure. That freed me." She didn't get rich because she made shapewear. She got rich because she rewired her emotional relationship with fear. Story number 3. Manny Khoshbin, the immigrant who broke the survival mindset. Manny Khoshbin, now a real estate multimillionaire, arrived in the US with his family at age 14. They lived in a car, they showered at public parks, they ate leftover, expired food, whatever was cheap enough to survive. When you grow up like that, you develop a mindset many poor families have. Just survive, don't dream. For years, Manny made decisions only through the lens of survival. Safe jobs, small expectations, no risks, no dreams. Until one night, he saw his father crying quietly in their car and realized, if I don't change something, we will stay here forever. This wasn't about money. This was about identity, a deep emotional shift. He got a minimum wage job, saved every dollar, got scammed in his first business attempt, went broke again, but instead of returning to survival mode, he made a new emotional decision. My past will not be my ceiling. He learned real estate, made his first deal, then his second, then his third. Today, he owns a supercar collection worth millions. But the real wealth wasn't the cars. It was the moment he broke the identity of someone who was supposed to just survive. Every person broke free emotionally before they broke free financially. Chris Gardner shifted from undeserving to self-worth. Sara Blakely shifted from fear of being seen to courage to be visible. Manny Khoshbin shifted from survival to abundance. And once the inner shift happened, money finally had space to enter. You cannot out-earn a poor identity, but you can rebuild one. And that is where true wealth begins. Here are the recurring mental traps I see over and over. The invisible walls between people and wealth. Trap 1. Scarcity. Identity. People who feel scarce behave scarce. They hoard, they avoid risk, they freeze. Scarcity narrows attention. It makes planning impossible. Scarcity thinking is not about how much money you have, it's about what you believe is possible. Trap 2. Status spending. Keeping up the image. You might look rich and still be broke. Status spending exchanges your future for attention today. The irony, the better you get at signaling, the deeper the hole can become. Trap 3. The safety paradox. Fear of investing. Fear keeps money in the bank where it earns nothing. People choose safety that erodes value. A true safety plan includes investing, not hiding. Trap 4. Instant gratification and present bias. The brain values immediate pleasure. A small purchase now beats a larger future reward, even irrationally. Trap 5. Learned helplessness. After a series of setbacks, people stop trying. They assume they can't change their financial life, so they don't. That resignation is the enemy of compounding. Trap 6. The comparison loop. Social platforms make everyone's highlight reel omnipresent. Constant comparison fuels shame and poor decisions. Let's make the biology simple and useful. Dopamine rewards immediate actions: a like, a purchase, a quick win. That's why shopping gives us a hit. Prefrontal cortex plans and delays gratification, but it's weaker under stress and fatigue. Amygdala triggers fear and loss aversion. It shouts louder about losses than logic whispers about long-term gains. Designing financial success means designing your environment to protect your prefrontal cortex and outsmart your dopamine impulses. Practical implication: automate savings and investing. Remove temptations. Make the smart choice the easy choice. Now the heart of change. These are the psychological pivots that actually create financial lifts. Abundance mindset doesn't mean unlimited luck. It means assuming opportunities exist and your actions matter. It replaces "I can't" with "how could I?" It's curiosity over defeat. Stop defining yourself by what you buy. Start defining yourself by what you own that produces value: skills, assets, relationships, and time. Wealth isn't a series of heroic acts. It's systems: automatic savings, regular learning, scheduled investment. Systems win when motivation wanes. Create a vivid future that pulls you. Purpose outruns impulse. If your why is strong, it weakens temptation. Risk is not reckless. Risk is necessary. Learn to take small, repeated risks that increase your options: side gigs, learning, micro-investments. Psychology changes with practice. Here's a practical, step-by-step mini program anyone can start tonight. Write down your money story. Where did you learn it? What are your strongest beliefs? This makes unconscious scripts conscious. For 7 days, no status spending, no eating out for image, no upgrades, just essentials. Journal cravings and feelings. This clears the fog. Automate. A recurring transfer to savings/investment the day you're paid. Split accounts, bills, savings, invest, play. Automation removes emotion. If $50 is all you can start with, great. Build the habit. Consistency beats size. Increase by 1 to 5% after every raise or every 3 months. Read a finance book, watch a tutorial, learn one investing concept a week. Micro-education compounds. Find a friend, community, or coach. Weekly check-ins create social pressure and support. Each morning say, "I am someone who builds wealth. I own skills and assets." Don't scoff. Identity statements rewire behavior over time. Gratitude reduces status chasing. Contrast. Remind yourself where you were 5 years ago. It builds humility and perspective. How do people actually change? Here are real practices that worked for real people. The 1% rule. Increase your savings rate by 1% each month. Small gains become large over time. The 30-day learning challenge. Learn one new micro skill per month: email marketing, editing, negotiation. That skill becomes a potential new income stream. The play account. Allow a controlled amount of fun money to prevent rebellion. Psychological freedom reduces impulse collapse. The no debt habit. For non-productive consumer debt, adopt a rule. If you can't pay cash, don't buy. This re-anchors control. The quarterly check. Every 90 days, review progress, celebrate wins, and set the next 3-month goal. Examples. A nurse who automated $100 per month and learned graphic design on weekends now makes an extra $1,200 per month freelancing. A delivery driver who started a micro-savings plan and invested in index funds now has a 5-year emergency cushion and clarity. Psychology changes when systems protect it. Here's how to make the change stick. Environment design. Remove triggers. Unsubscribe from shopping feeds. Mute ads. Remove saved payment methods for impulse purchases. Ritualize money time. Schedule a weekly 20-minute finance check where you review accounts, budgets, and goals. Rituals turn willpower into habit. Community. Join groups that model the future you want. Investors' forums, local meetup circles, learning cohorts. Professional help. If money triggers deep shame or trauma, a therapist or financial coach can accelerate change. Mental health and financial health are connected. Celebrate non-financial wins. Celebrate habits, consistency, learning, rather than only balance increases. Changing beliefs changes behavior. Changing behavior changes outcomes. The math is simple. Small, consistent investments plus compound interest equal big outcomes. The psychology is the multiplier. Fix the inner game, and the outer game falls into line. Behavioral economics, neuroscience, and centuries of success stories all point to the same truth. Wealth is built by those who control their impulses, design systems, and choose identity over image. You don't need a miracle. You need a mind that's practiced for wealth. You need systems that protect your best intentions. You need courage to be oddly consistent while the world chases instant thrills. Start tonight. Write your money story. Automate one small transfer. Read 2 chapters. Tell one friend what you're doing. That small chain of decisions is how futures are rewritten. If this video helped you see what was invisible, subscribe and join a community that chooses growth over convenience, systems over streaks, and identity over image. Your future self is waiting, and the first step is the one you take right now.